Hi, my name is Alec Lindsay, and today we will be going over vehicle management training for your FTA 5310 vehicles. This chart shows the vehicle procurement process. You have already signed your contract with UTA and completed your pre-production meeting. Your vehicles have been ordered, and now it's time for your subrecipient training before you can pick up your vehicles from UTA. If this is your first vehicle or first time training, you will need to contact Clint Wilkinson to schedule a ride pilot training before you can receive your vehicle. Please ensure you have been granted access to Zoom grants also by your application contact person at your agency for reporting and invoicing. Prepare your local match by sending it to Holly Mahoney or bringing the check with you to vehicle delivery day. Also, bring and send us a copy of your vehicle insurance showing UTA as the lien holder or additional insured. Unless you have a self-insured policy, then contact us and we will give you further instruction. UTA will perform a site visit and vehicle inspection every 2 years. There are two programs that we use to track and manage your grant: Zoom Grants and Ride Pilot. In Zoom Grants, you will be doing quarterly reports, keeping track of your budget, doing any vehicle or capital invoicing along with operations, and it will also store your contact information for your agency. Please update that anytime it changes. You can also store all of your agency documentation in Zoom Grants, such as insurance, application documents, Title VI plans, financial audits, and anything else. In Ride Pilot, you will use this to manage trips, keep logs of preventative and maintenance events, track your miles, and keep a vehicle identification information that we need to report to FTA. You can also use Ride Pilot as a dispatching software if your agency wishes to utilize that. Reporting requirements. FTA requires you to report to us. Zoom Grants and Ride Pilot are not optional. You must report in these systems, and if you don't, we will have to have consequences because the FTA requires us to report to them what you report to us. Things that can happen if you are late or missing or not in compliance are that any vehicles on order will not be delivered. Your risk assessment score can go up. We could put a hold on operation reimbursement payments. We could increase site visits or financial audits. And if none of those work, we could take your vehicle and repurpose it to a new program. Let's go over Zoom Grants. We're going to show you some videos about 3 important tasks you should know about Zoom Grants, our grant management software. Even if you are not the responsible party for your agency to do all the reporting, please take notes and share them with your team. We will go over submitting performance reports that are due quarterly, submitting invoices. You will need to submit a vehicle invoice so your budget reflects that you got your vehicle, and we will show you how to do that. And adding collaborators. You must be added as a collaborator by your applicant contact for your agency so that you have access to Zoom Grants. Your quarterly reports must include comparison of actual results to program objectives. This will be based on the application project work plan that you submitted with your goals and any metrics that you wish to meet. You must address each program function or activity, reasons for any unmet goals, significant project developments, and please submit your reports on time. Zoom Grants will track if your reports are late, and that can increase your risk assessment score. Now we will watch a video on submitting reports.
Reporting feature allows applicants who have received funding to submit post-funding reports to the funding organization. If a funder chooses to use this feature, applicants will be asked to complete and submit reports through Zoom Grants. This quick applicant tutorial video provides instructions for completing and submitting reports. But before we get started, here's an important note. What we at Zoom Grants call a report, another organization may call something else. You may see different tab and button labels in your applications depending on what each administrator decides to call this feature in their programs. Got it? Okay, let's get started. First, you'll log into your ZoomGrants account at zoomgrants.com. Click the gray login link in the upper right-hand corner. Enter your email address and password here. If you've forgotten your password, click the Forgot Password link to request a password reminder. If you don't remember the email address, or if the account belongs to a staff member who's no longer with your organization, contact our support desk and we can help you find that email address. When you first log in, you'll always start in the Incomplete tab of the My Account homepage. Since reports can only be submitted for your approved applications, click into the Approved tab to access those applications. Find the correct application in the list, then click the Add Report button to open the application. Remember, the funder gets to decide what they want to call the report feature, so this label may be a little bit different. Once you're in the application, click into the Report tab. Again, please note that this label may be different depending on the settings chosen by the administrator. Note that if the administrator is requesting multiple reports, each report appears in its own tab. Upcoming reports are marked with a due date. Submitted reports have a green check mark, and overdue reports show the due date in red, and the word overdue appears on the Report tab. Click on a specific report tab to fill in that report. As you're working, keep in mind that the reports work in the same way as the application itself did. The data saves automatically as you make changes and move between the fields. Be sure to upload any relevant documents, especially those that are marked as required. When you're finished, refresh the page using the gray Refresh Page button at the top of the page, then click the Submit Report button at the top of the tab. If anything is incomplete, the system will tell you which fields are missing. Once you've filled out those sections, click the gray Refresh Page button again, and then try the Submit again. If you continue to have difficulty submitting your report, you might want to try updating your browser or maybe using a different browser entirely. We recommend using Chrome. To confirm that your report was submitted, refresh the page using the gray Refresh Page button. Look for the green check mark on that report tab, check the submitted date stamp, or wait for the email confirmation. If you have any questions or need any help, please don't hesitate to contact us. You can call our office, click onto our website to fill out our contact form, or send an email. Thanks for watching and have a great day!
Okay, so here is what ZoomGrants will look like when you are in your program. And you can see the tab that says Quarterly Report. That is where you will click to do your reports. And like they said in the video, you can see all of your tabs with all of your quarters, and the green check will show that you returned it on time. You will need to select what grant type you have, whether your project is not started, in progress, or complete. And then in number 3, describe how the project has impacted the availability of transportation services. We also want you to include the things that we mentioned on the other slide, such as any metrics you've met, any unmet goals, and how your program is going. I will also put the links to the ZoomGrants guides in the video below. You must report number of individuals served and one-way trips every quarter. This is based on your reporting period, so how many people you have served in that quarter, and an estimate is okay. Now we will watch a video on how to submit invoices and payment reimbursement requests.
Grants to keep track of invoices and payments is easy. In this video, I'll provide step-by-step instructions for how to submit and manage invoices and payments. But keep in mind that these instructions are only applicable if the program administrator has decided to use this feature. First, we'll talk about creating and submitting an invoice. Okay, so I've logged into my account, Emily's organization, We Do Awesome Things, and I've clicked into the Approved tab since invoices can only be submitted for applications that have been approved. Now, the easiest way to create a new invoice is to click the Add Invoice button, which opens the invoice in a new window. Hi, I'm sorry to interrupt. I have just a quick side note. The naming of many ZoomGrants features is at the discretion of the administrator, so certain field and tab labels or feature titles may differ based on the administrator's preferences. Invoices may be called payment requests, and the financial tab may be labeled reimbursements, for example. Just something to keep in mind. Okay, back to creating and submitting invoices. As the applicant, I'm responsible for all of the content on the left-hand side of the invoice, including any questions or document requests the administrator has included. When I'm finished, I'll double-check to make sure that everything is complete, then click Submit Invoice to submit it. The administrator will fill out the right-hand side, changing the status, adding payments, etc. In the meantime, I can email, save, or print a copy of this invoice using the gray links at the top of the page. Next, let's talk about managing invoices. From the Approved tab, I'll click into an application and then open the Financial tab. Let's take a quick tour of this page. Here, I can see all of the invoices and payments for this application. And I can also create a new invoice here using this Create a New Invoice button, keeping in mind that this does the exact same thing as the Add Invoice button on the account homepage. Let's take a look at the invoice status column. The administrator can mark invoices as paid, approved, declined, or pending. But I also have some invoices that are marked as not submitted. For one of these, I just haven't submitted that invoice yet. But the not submitted status could also indicate that the invoice has been returned to me by the administrator for editing. To edit an open invoice or view a submitted invoice, I'll click the orange invoice number. I'd like to point out a few things on this submitted invoice. On the right side, I can see the administrator's comments and the status of the invoice. A bit further down, I can also see any payments that have been made on this invoice, and I can click a payment number to view it. The current funding snapshot at the bottom applies to the entire application and is a live view of all the invoices and payments for this application. The current funding snapshot is especially helpful when creating new invoices because it can indicate how much I can request based on the invoices and payments that are pending and approved. I also have just a few notes about payments for you. The Payments section of the Financial tab shows all payments made on the application. The first item in the list is the initial deposit that reflects the amount originally awarded. Payments made are listed below that deposit, and the balance is calculated automatically. Sometimes it can be a bit difficult to get used to a new system, but we've done our best to make it an easy process for our users. If you need help with anything, feel free to email us at questions@zoomgrants.com. or give us a call at 866-323-5404 extension 2.
Once you've received the invoice that Holly will send you, which contains a cost breakdown from the vendor and a request amount for the local match, you will also need to create an invoice in Zoom Grants. This is so we can mark it as paid once you receive the vehicle and your Zoom Grants budget will be accurate. Our invoice tab is called Reimbursements. Be sure to put your request amount as the amount the grant is funding towards your vehicle, or the federal amount, and the correct line item. So here you have a list of different line items, and yours will reflect the line items you put in from your application, and you can edit these at any time. We ask that you put the type of vehicle, so expansion bus or replacement sedan, etc. If you need any help, please let us know. This page shows you how to add a collaborator. When you want to add a collaborator, you have to be the application contact. And if you scroll to the bottom of the summary page, you will see an area where you can enter an email address, first and last name, and title. And then you'll have different boxes here where you can add different access. You will see application, reporting, invoicing, and things like that. When a person leaves your agency, please delete them from your collaborators. You can add additional contacts, but these people will only receive emails about reporting and things like that. They won't have access to go in and do anything. If the person invited doesn't already have an account, they will be created an account automatically. They just have to accept the invitation. And remember, collaborators cannot submit the applications. Only the application contact of your agency can submit the application. Here is a screenshot of RidePilot. This is just to show you what it looks like and where you will enter your vehicle details. We ask that you give your vehicle a name and make sure that your VIN number and everything in here is correct. Also, in the garage tab, you want to put the location of your vehicle. Here is where we have maintenance events. This is an example of putting preventative maintenance in the maintenance events portion when it should go in the preventative maintenance logs. So I will explain the difference. A maintenance event is anything that is not on the preventative maintenance schedule, such as fixing a dent, replacing a broken bulb, repairing a flat tire, or anything like that. Preventative maintenance is required maintenance due based on the schedule of your vehicle. If you click the download button, you will download the scheduled maintenance due at the time the vehicle has reached that mileage. For example, at 12,508 miles, Louis is due for an oil change and tire rotation. Please upload any receipts, invoices, or proof of each maintenance event and preventative maintenance. Also, if you click this Show All button, you can see all of the preventative maintenance that may be hiding. Here's a list of things we require you to have in your vehicle. For safety, your vehicle should come with a seatbelt cutter, triangles, fire extinguisher, first aid kit, and a bloodborne pathogen kit. If you do not have those safety items in your vehicle, we can help you get those if you need. When you receive your vehicle, you must also put in your vehicle a Title VI and ADA poster with your agency and UTA's contact information and where they can submit complaints. You must also add a vehicle height decal on the vehicle dash. We can help you with that if you need. Required to have on file, you need a policy for your vehicle and key securement to prevent loss, theft, or damage. You must also keep on file any driver training with proof of completion recorded, and you must check your driver's records and licenses every year. You must also do pre and post trip inspections. We have examples of those forms on our website that you can download. In case of damage to the vehicle, you must notify our office within 24 hours of an incident. You must also fill out an incident accident form. We also have those on our website. You can use your own form, but please make sure it is similar or has the same requested information as our forms do. We also have a passenger form on there that you can fill out to record what passengers were in the car at the time of the accident. We ask that you keep those forms in the vehicle at all times so the driver can fill it out if an accident occurs. You must email a copy of the report to our office. If the vehicle is a total loss, we will need to work with your insurance company. More information can be found in your guidebook. You can call our offices or email us at any time. Vehicle Delivery Day. We will call you when your vehicle is ready for pickup. You will meet us at Riverside, and here's the address. You must have your local match check already sent to Holly, or bring it when you come to pick up the vehicle. Please note, the invoice you receive from Holly may ask you to send the check to Accounts Receivable. Please send the check to Holly Mahoney instead of Accounts Receivable. We will go through this vehicle checklist with you and take photos of the vehicle and the person picking it up. We will also store a key for your vehicle in our office for emergencies. Please bring proof of insurance and send us the insurance plan with coverage amounts and showing UTA as the lien holder or added insurer. Pre and post trip inspections. This is an example of what a pre or post trip inspection may look like. This one has many details and yours does not need to be this detailed as long as it meets the minimum requirements in your guidebook. We also have forms on our website you can use if you need. Please make sure your form includes cycling the lift. You will also need to retain documentation showing your drivers complete the checklist, and we will look for it at site visits, and the federal government can come look at it during an audit, or we may ask for it for program management reviews. Please note that after your program or project is complete, the FTA requires you to keep all documentation for 3 years after, even if it is past the vehicle's useful life. Driver training. We recommend your agency uses nationalrtap.org. That's because it is a free website and it covers all of the material that we require your drivers to have. Their e-learning videos will cover emergency procedures, transit and human trafficking, substance abuse awareness, ADA training, and wheelchair securements. The To The Point training has two different sections. There is the option to print cards. We recommend this for volunteer driving or retraining. And then the To The Point training also has videos on all of these things. There are more details in the handbook or guidebook that you have. Please note that we recommend retraining your drivers every 2 years, but we require proof that they've been retrained every 4 years. We also recommend that your drivers attend the UTA conference. There is usually one in the spring and one in the fall. They give great training tips, and drivers can apply for free scholarships to attend. Please visit www.ursta.org. The next conference will be March 12th through the 13th in Moab, and you can check their website for a further agenda. You are also required to have an asset inventory with the following items. We have an inventory Excel file on our website that you can download, or you can use your own as long as it has all of these items. Your agency must also have proper safeguards in place to prevent fraud, loss, and theft of damage to assets. Assets must be used for their intended purpose, and your physical inventory tracking of all of these items. Please note that the vehicle useful life has changed. The original federal useful life was not realistic, and this is a more realistic measure we have adopted after the FTA increased our transit asset management requirements. Once your vehicle has reached its useful life, you can have the lien released on your title. When you decide to dispose of your vehicle, you must contact us and let us know how you're going to dispose of it. If the vehicle is sold, any amount over $5,000 must be returned to UTA for reprogramming. ADA compliance. Subrecipients must do the following to ensure ADA compliance. You must have a procedure to ensure accessible vehicles can provide equivalent services to all, wheelchair lift and ramp securement, vehicle identification mechanisms. This means that riders can identify the vehicle when filling out a complaint form. Either have a name of a vehicle or a number posted where riders can see it. Maintenance of accessible parts on vehicles, lift deployment at stops when needed, actions taken to ensure a reasonable time is provided for boarding and disembarking vehicles. Announcements of stops where applicable, policies and procedures in place for service animals. We will check your policies and procedures every 2 years at our site visit. Also, service to persons with respirators or portable oxygen. There are no FTA regulations or requirements on how to store portable oxygen, so URSTA is going to give a class on how some ways that you can care for portable oxygen tanks to train your drivers on. So that's a good option if you want to learn more about how to safely transport portable oxygen. And that concludes this vehicle management training. Please contact us if you have any questions. All of our contact information is on this page, and visit www.utahridelink.org to view our forms and important dates.